Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of Pokemon Crystal. In the last part we got up here to Bugsy. And now we're about to fight him. Now actually, this character always confused me and a lot of my friends as a child because even though it looks like what he does, that is a guy, it's not a girl. The Japanese and their androgyny, I swear to God that annoys me a lot of the time in anime. Anyway, now we're facing a Metapod, which are practically useless Pokemon if you don't use them right. When you get a Metapod, all it really knows is the moves it knew as a Caterpie and Harden. Other than that, it's pretty bland. I actually did like that in the anime when they made fun of these things, because it was Ash's Metapod versus another one. It was just a complete and total battle where they just kept on using Harden. That made me laugh. And now she's sending out Kakuna, which is the equivalent of Metapod for Weedles. It has the exact same effects as Metapod, except for some reason I always prefer to be using a Kakuna instead of a Metapod. I guess it's because of their final evolution, Beedrill, which we'll see I think later on in the game, is a bit better attack-wise. Sputterfree, which is Metapod's evolution, is more status effect inclusive, which is a bit more useful for catching Pokemon, not necessarily fighting them. To be honest, actually, this gym is only really hard if you chose Chikorita. Is actually rather challenging if you chose Chikorita, from what I remember, because if I remember correctly, Bug is very strong against Grass, which, yeah, actually it is. That's right. And Water and the Water types can have a bit of trouble here too, from what I remember. Luckily, I always choose the Fire type. And now she's sending out Scyther, which is actually a really good Pokemon. Scyther is a very attack-inclined bug Pokemon, one of the very few there is. And this thing is very powerful, especially when it gets its evolution in I want to say Gen 3, possibly Gen 4. Luckily, fire attacks destroy these things. Not even luckily, because of what they didn't. That'd be kind of odd, because whenever I set bugs on fire, they tend to die. For some reason, this thing wasted its one attack it had on me with the Leer, which is laser beams for some reason, even though they do absolutely nothing. Problem with the animation fail, or is it just very, very ineffective lasers? It's like, what the fuck? What that didn't do anything. Why? And it just lowers your defense. And we get the Hive badge. I think this, well, if we have Pokemon to level 30, it'll obey you, unless it's friendly, or whatever it's called, factors are really high, because Pokemon can actually have infection levels. Like if you're, like my starter you choose at the beginning of the game will usually really love you towards the end. It's like it will always obey you. Yeah. Because if you have a Pokemon that's too high leveled and you don't have the right badge yet, that'll obey you up to, it will not obey you as well as it does when you've had it for a while, or if you have the gym badge for that respective level. Why'd I go back in there? Oh, that's right, I forgot to get the Bellsprout the first time. Because I do need Slave here. And hi, Jason. How are you today? Second fight against our rival here. And he sends out a Ghastly copycat. I got one first. Now this is when I first played Pokemon Silver back in the day. This was the fight I got stuck on for a while until I did some massive level grinding. It's all because, well, when I was young, I barely fought any random battles. Like by the time I got to this gym, I was still only level 10, and well, just look at me now, I'm twice that. ran away from everything in every single RPG I played, whether it be this or Final Fantasy, be it Dragon Quest. Everything. Which really was not a smart idea on my part. I was a fool. Actually, what's kind of weird is Ghastly is a ball of gas, so how's it licking me? It's literally just a ball of gas. It's the lightest Pokemon in the entire series. It has literally no weight to it if I remember correctly. I have to check out the weight thing in Diamond and Pearl to remember. And now it's sending out, which takes the Pokemon which is the majority of this battle, Croconaw, which is Totodile's evolution. It may be 4 levels lower than Blaze is, but it's still no pushover. I've never did like how they made the rival choose the Pokemon that you were weak to. That's what I liked about Gen 5 actually, is that you had 2 rivals. One who chose the one you were weak against, and one who chose you were strong against. That was actually really good on their part. I hope they do that from now on in every generation. Oh, Black and White. Will I ever Let's Play you? Most likely not. I still have to play Black and White 2, which is coming out. Actually, I think it just came out. Let's see, it's the 23rd right now of September. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it came out late last month. Now, one thing I should have done when I had Pat out was use the Paralyzed Curing Berry, but I didn't for some odd reason. Now keep in mind that I'm 4 levels higher than it, and my Ember, which is my most powerful attack, did that little. Then again, that's kind of what happens. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing this guy for at least the next 4 minutes, because I know for a fact, because there's an audio clip I will be playing soon. I'm not gonna say what it is, but if you have played one of these games, you know how luck can get. Actually, if I remember correctly, this is also the first game to introduce the bag mechanic, unless Gold and Silver did that first, I don't remember. In the original games, you had a very small inventory that wasn't nearly as organized. You could only carry, like, what, 10, 12 items, if I remember correctly? And that could get annoying. Very, very annoying. Considering you need to have, like, certain HMs on you at times, certain Pokeballs, potions. That's why I prefer Fire Red, Leaf Green, even though I still haven't beaten Fire Red or Leaf Green. I've only beaten the 8-bit games. I guess the inventory doesn't have much of an effect on the gameplay or the difficulty. Actually, that's one thing I didn't really like about the old school games, is that there's 2 different kind of things it could have. An attack can fail, but for things like Hypnosis, it can have it doesn't affect or it didn't affect. Doesn't means that they're immune to that an ailment, like the Wide Eye ability that's introduced in I think the next gen. It prevents Pokemon from falling asleep. That I can understand, but didn't means that it pretty much missed. I don't like that at all. For some, this is just bringing back a lot of bad memories, actually, of fighting this guy. Because I used to be able to get past that, I think it was a the Ghastly, fairly easily as a kid, but this guy, I was stuck on this guy for a month, and wow, I just realized the pattern of his scales on his stomach makes him look like he has a loincloth on. That is kind of odd. Luckily he will lose that when it evolves. Oh jeez, like critical hits. I hate those so much. Critical hits in this game, I haven't brought this up yet, are pretty much super power hits. I think they do like twice or so. Like twice or 3 times the damage, I can't really remember. See, in the first game, certain moves were overpowered because the critical hit ratio on them was really high. In fact, the critical hit ratio in Gen 1 overall was just really high. Pin Missile and, I think it was Dragon Ball. In this game, luckily, they really nerfed it, and the critical hits have been nowhere near as much as they used to. I completely forgot I put that in there. If you didn't hear that, that was a Wario's dough I missed from Mario Party 1. I completely forgot I had that in here. I was not paying attention at all to the video for a couple of seconds there. I need to stop doing that. Curse you, tangents. And we get 489 experience for that, which levels us up. We're actually, a lot of levels happen in this video, even though a lot of them happen off-screen for certain reasons. And I'm replacing Tackle with Quick Attack, because Quick Attack, from what I remember, yeah, it is. It not only does it allow you to attack first, but I think it's a lot more powerful than Tackle, not just a little bit. Now, as you might see, we now have Slave in our party. I kind of need him for something coming up, and it's a stupid Zubat. Ah, you... Wait. Now, if you guys really pay attention to the original generations, you notice that Team Rocket uses a lot of Zubats. Keep that in mind for later in the game, because there's something I will bring up. Even though it's something that doesn't really come up for fans until the next, well, the remake of the first generation with the Sebi Islands, but... I might as well say it now. Pretty much, it's hinted in a Fire Red and Leaf Green on, I think, 7 Island, that Giovanni has a red-haired son. Giovanni being the leader of Team Rocket. Now, let's see. Red-haired son, who is obsessed with power just like his father. Now, just keep that description in mind, and then look at Jason. It's pretty much, although I don't think it's confirmed, it is pretty much implied that Jason is the boss of Team Rocket's son, even though Giovanni, from what I remember, doesn't show up at all in this game. Unless he does during the Celebi special event, but I never got to that. And I leave this battle in. And probably just because it didn't take too long. Odysseys, by the way, are really only good until they aren't really good until they evolve. They can become real good tanks. If I remember correctly, actually, this is the first Pokemon that we come across that has a split evolving chain, at least in later games, because this guy, once it evolves into a Gloom, it can go one of 2 ways after that, either with the Bellossom or Vileplume, but I don't remember how I know Vileplume needs a Leaf Stone, but I don't remember how you get Blossom in this generation. I know it's a Sunstone in later games, though. And now we're in Ilex Forest. I completely forgot to bring this up. This place has a lot of bug Pokemon. I'm just gonna say that. And now we have to do a little bit of a mandatory side quest here. We have to get this guy's Farfetch'd back. It's not that hard, in fact, it's right here. Denied. And a Venonat. These guys aren't really good until they evolve, and even then, they're only good for status effects. Although he is the very first, well, not the very first shiny I ever caught, but one of the very first shinies I ever saw. It was at I think a tournament back in 2004, I want to say. Actually, shinies in this generation, because I think this is the generation that were shinies introduced in this? Yeah, they were. Because the shinies, we'll get into them a lot later in the game, like probably part 20. But I'll just save it till then. Again, considering I'm going a lot faster than I thought I would in this Let's Play. Anyway, now let's talk to the Farfetch'd. And my mouse is on screen again. God dang it, Kyle. Stop leaving your mouse on the game when you're recording. And we get a revive. That does what it sounds like it should. It revives your Pokemon from faint or knockout or whatever. Now, a lot of people, actually, I will bring this up now, a lot of people use repels in these games to stop Pokemon from encountering. I never use repels. I welcome the EXP. And last second denial, and Joey, ugh. I'm surprised. He usually says the line that he's very well known for at this point in the game. I forget if he says it or not. Did he say it before this? It's been a while since I recorded part 5. By a while, I mean about maybe a month, due to certain events in life. And dumbass Farfetch'd fell into a tree. Now see, that's actually what he says there, is that he didn't, the Farfetch'd wouldn't obey him because he doesn't have the badge. You do need the badge. That's exactly what happens. And we get HMO1, which is cut, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it is. Well, how else will we get past that tree in the upper right corner? Now, this is the reason I brought Slave into my party, because Slaves for me are HMs, are pretty much guys who use only HMs for. And now we get to cut this tree, and actually this brings up a good point. Pokemon 4, the movie, Pokemon Forever, takes place in the Ilex Forest, and this shrine here is the main point of that. That's in the DS remake and in this, if I remember correctly as well. That's where you get the special event Pokemon Celebi, who is weak, not only physically, but I've heard special attack isn't that bad, but I never used it. Pokemon Forever. You're the first Pokemon movie I ever... No, wait, no. The first Pokemon movie I ever saw was 2000, the only good one. Again, I do like Heroes. Me talking about the Pokemon anime and its movies during the much better games. And down... I feel like I'm in Final Fantasy IV PSP. Or Final Fantasy IV The Complete Collection. What the heck? The sound is all out of sync. I'm gonna have to check the sound clips after this because they are really out of sync. It's like a full 2 seconds behind. That's no more than 3 actually. What the? They're either Camtasia fucked up, or like, or maybe when I was editing the video, because I don't edit because the way I edit is that I record it, and I will very rarely, by the way, record with live commentary. And this is just why. I'm gonna have to check what's wrong with the audio after this, because the video is like lagging behind it. And now it's good. It must be the individual clips I messed up on. Pine Echo. I remember one Brock had you in the anime. These guys, from what I never really use these guys because I usually use specific teams in these games. But these guys are actually really, from what I've heard, very defensively high, very high in defense. So I've never used them, but you guys might want to check them out. They're very famous though for using self-destruct, so be careful with that. It happened to me when I was doing some off-screen stuff later in this video. And now we're outside. Dang it. I really need to work on those transitions. Because I know that it just cuts off abruptly like that. Maybe I should do it before the animation for the battle starts. I'll play around with this stuff. And this is the daycare. This lets you can put one of your Pokemon in there. I think it's 2 actually. And what it'll do is that it what was on the side of the screen? Oh, that's right. I forgot my brightness went weird at this point. But the daycare center will raise your Pokemon temporarily, and I think it's based on the amount of steps you'll take. The Pokemon will gain experience. Pretty good if you want to leave like one of a Pokemon that you know will get pretty strong later on. Like if a Pokemon that evolves at low level, like Butterfree, put it in there for a while, and see what level it comes out at. And welcome to Goldenrod City, the big city of Johto. Now all I'm doing here is getting to the Pokemon Center, because there is some stuff I want to do off screen actually. There's a certain Pokemon I want to catch, but I need to find it first. You can only find it by checking the trees, but it took me a while, so I'm editing to the point where I find it. You know, from what I remember during the editing, the audio gets effed up here as well, so let's see. And along the way that I was looking for this guy, by the way, the egg hatch into the one of the only Gen 2 Pokemon to be seen in. I think it was at this point in... Was he? I forget. Was this guy in Kanto? I think he was. In Kanto, part of the anime, I think he was. But it's Togepi. And I don't think it even evolves at this point. No, it does evolve into Togetic at this point, if I remember correctly. I forget. I don't remember when certain evolutions were introduced. And here's the Pokemon I was looking for, Heracross, and as you can hear probably, the audio is really distinct. I don't know why, I'm going to have to look at this afterwards. Because at this point I can hear that it's catching it. I'll check out what's wrong with the audio. My controller's dying on me, apparently. This is very odd audio problems. You guys might not hear them because I may have fixed it at that point. Why'd the audio just die? I'm confused majorly. And we caught Heracross. This guy is a tank. Good offensive, good defense, and it's a bug type too, which is kind of rare. And this is our Heracross, and its nickname is going to be Abe. I wonder if he's watching this. Hi Abe, if you are. And I ended off with this tree. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I really hope I fix this audio desync. And I will see you guys next time. See you then. Oh, gotta check out this audio problem. God damn it.